Hey bros, no one really asked for this, but here you go, my Q&A. Anyways, I'm probably gonna be making this in 2 different days, so if my outfit changes, you know why, because I'm too lazy to film it in one day. So here we go. We're gonna start answering some questions that my friends asked. Not like anyone really cares about these, but I'm bored during quarantine, so here we go. We're gonna start off with some easy questions and we'll get on the juicier stuff later. There's nothing really juicy about my stuff, but here we go, okay? Okay, the first question I was asked by a friend of mine on Snapchat was, what is your favorite food? Haha! Okay, I don't really have a favorite food, and no, it's not because I don't like to eat. I love to eat. I'm not a picky eater. I will eat anything except for spicy food, and it's not because I don't like spicy food. It's because I just can't eat spicy food. Like, my digestive system will not let me. My body will not let me. But anyway, my favorite food, I'm going off tangent, is none, because I love food in general and respect food as a chef. I'm just kidding, I'm not, but as a homemade chef, I like to cook and make food, and whatever food I make, or it's just, food is food, man. You can't hate it. You can't have a favorite. I like favorite cuisines though. My favorite cuisine is Asian cuisine, of course. I cook a lot of Korean food, Vietnamese food, Chinese food, and Filipino food. I'm not saying Japanese because I haven't really made any Japanese food yet. Which brings me to what I wanted to say, is that I will be making a YouTube series called Cooking with Cassandra. Not like anyone actually cares, but this was in a Snapchat story a long time ago, or like I had this on Snapchat for a while. But yeah, stay tuned. The next question is another one of our friends, is from a friend from Instagram. He asked, if you could give your favorite food a name, what would it be? And like I said, I don't have a favorite food, so I don't really know what to name it. But let's pick one of my favorite foods, which is, bro, I don't even know what my favorite food is. What do I like to eat? Asian food. What am I gonna name that? I don't know. I can't give you that because, one, I'm not that creative enough. Two, my favorite food taste is too broad, as from my previous question. So there we go. Hope that doesn't answer your question, because it really doesn't. Next question. One of my friends sent me this question. He sent me actually a bunch of questions. A lot of them are really juicy, so I will tell them later. But one of the questions he asked me is my favorite color and why. I don't have a favorite color. Actually, yeah, I don't have a favorite color. I used to. It used to be like red. But then I realized that's not really my favorite. Well, it used to be, black isn't a color, it's a shade. But like, it used to be, those two would be my favorite color, I guess. But I realized they're just the colors I like to wear. My go-to color is like red and black and white. But black and white aren't colors, so don't fight me. Next question that my friend Princess asked. Who's my favorite hoe? Aha, you! Clowning right here. JK. Hoe is what I call people on Snapchat, on my Snapchat. So she my favorite hoe. But she's not actually a hoe. Oh my gosh, she's far opposite from hoe. She's so innocent. Let me tell y'all, man, let me tell y'all. Hit her up, her name is Frances. She's gonna hate me for this, but hit her up, her name is Frances Huang. If I butchered your last name, I'm sorry, girl, I'm sorry. But hit her up, she's single. I'm not gonna say she's desperate, but she's lonely. The next question I was asked is from a really, actually all these are from close friends, so I don't really know. But he asked me, why can your feet taste garlic? I think that was it. Let me tell you, our feet have special abilities that we all don't know. Why do you think people have foot fetishes? Because they know the power of the foot. Our foot can taste garlic because it has special sense receptors that scientists have not figured out yet. How do I know that? Because I tried. No, I didn't. But seriously, moving on. Someone asked me when I could do a cover of Officially Missing You by Tamia. As much as I actually really want to do that cover, my voice has significantly deteriorated, and it's because my throat is really sensitive to cold food, cold drinks, cold anything, and I sometimes strain my voice when I talk, especially in my native language, because I don't know, it's weird. I don't sound like this when I speak my native tongue. But I guess I can show you a snippet. How does it go? Oh, can nobody do it like you? Say every little thing you do. Hey baby, say on your mind. And I'm officially, it's official. I don't know lyrics. I should really put in more effort into this, but I'm not. Another question someone asked me is, when will I start exercising? Joke's on you. You have the audacity to think I actually exercise. I mean, I did, but like, my body's very sensitive, which is sad because I actually used to really like lifting. I used to lift, like 4 or 5 years ago. Oh my gosh. And I stopped ever since, and I haven't done it. All my muscles have wasted away because I don't keep up with it. I don't also feed myself protein because I can't eat or have too much protein because of my disease. But I'm serious, I seriously can't have too much protein, and that's it. I know that's not an excuse not to exercise, but I really just don't like cardio. I'm sorry, I don't like cardio. If you give me a cardio workout, I will not do it. Period. Okay. Hey guys, so it's a new day today, and obviously I'm in my pajamas. I was gonna dress up and look decent, but like I really don't want to. So anyway, let's continue on with the questions. Okay, so my friend Kyla, she's in the Philippines right now, but I knew her since high school. She asked me, how are you coping with this pandemic, and how are things back there, meaning here, and keep safe. How am I coping with this pandemic? Better than most people. I wouldn't say most people, but better than those who are struggling because of, you know, home environments, financial issues, I guess you could say, and emotional, mental things going on. I'm doing things like making videos to help like the boredom. I go to work, but I work at a senior living community, so that also helps. I sometimes hang out in my backyard to get some sun since the weather's getting warmer, and things are, I don't know, things are kind of just going now, I guess. Like, some places are opening up. I heard that they're slowly starting to open up malls and stuff, especially near where I am. And yeah, the next question is, what would the you in a parallel universe be doing in her life right now? The me in a parallel universe would probably have her own apartment, probably be living with her boyfriend, husband, whatnot, graduate, already a pharmacist or doctor, have her life together, pretty much the complete opposite of me. That would be the you in the parallel universe would be. And she'd probably have businesses and whatnot out already. Okay, something you love about yourself and favorite thing about myself. That goes into account something that I don't like about myself. I like a lot of things about myself, but one of the things I do like, mostly like, is that you can fight with me on this, especially those who know me, is that I am pretty self-aware. I may not act like it sometimes, but I'm pretty self-aware of how I am. Like, I know if I'm too much. I know if I'm getting too angry, too jealous, too mean, or crossing boundaries. I know how I am in those, but there are times when even though I know I'm getting a little too much, I still act that way. It's because sometimes I let my emotions get the best of me, and it just controls me, even though my mind is telling me to not do that. But the thing I like about it is, even if I do get out of control, I tend to self-reflect a lot. Like, self-reflection is what I do constantly throughout the day, even when it looks like I'm not. When I'm just like doing something, I self-reflect. I look over what I think about what I do and what I could be better and what I could improve on. That's something I like about myself. If you had to start over and plan your life out again, what would you do differently? I would have taken care of my body when I was in the Philippines. Everything else would have been, like, everything up to the point where I moved to the Philippines would have been fine until I started doing pageantry and I got sick a lot. If I was in the Philippines, the only thing I would change there was I would have taken care of my body better. So that way I could have graduated and become a pharmacist already. That's the one thing that I would have done differently in my life. And that is that. How have you seen yourself grow, mature, change in the last change or mature in the last 2 years? I don't want to say that I have learned to take better care of myself, because there are still times where I do abuse my body mentally, emotionally, mentally, and I know I'm doing it. It's just that I don't know why I can't stop myself, but I have been more reflective on myself. I've been more patient. Like, if you knew me back then, I was not very patient. I've also been trying to be more open in terms of creativity and not worry too much about other people. I've also have been starting to compare myself less to those who I've been jealous of my whole life, I guess you could say. And yeah, my current life goal and next step. So my current life goal is... Can I be any more redundant, Cassandra? I want to graduate. Oh, I will be, hopefully, God willing, I will be graduating in 2022. I will be a nurse, and by then, hopefully, I can start. Once I graduate and get a job, I will start paying off my loans and hopefully pay it off in 2 years, so I can save up, live downtown for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, save up, go to the Philippines and start a business. That is my life goal, my career goal, my next step, I guess. One of my friends asked me, describe your ideal man. What is the definition of an ideal man? I think I can't really have an ideal man. It's just that, like, it's very broad. But one thing I would really, 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 really want in a man, especially my future husband, is that they have a relationship with God, because I am a Christian and I do want to share that faith with my children and my family. That is one thing. Oh, and they have to be hygienic. That is, like, you need to know how to clean at least. If you don't know how to cook, fine. I'll cook. But as long as you know how to clean, that is it. You have to have a relationship with God, and you know how to clean. And you know how to clean yourself. Hygiene. You know what I mean. The next question, one of my ate asked, at UIC, she asked, what was your worst date and your best date? I have not had a worst date. I don't think I've ever had a bad date. Not that I can remember. Maybe I did, but I probably just blocked it off my memory and I don't remember it anymore, so I can't really tell you. But I don't think I've ever had a bad date that I can say is the worst date. My best date? I don't think I've had any dates that topple. Maybe I do, but I wouldn't really call them top tier. It's just that I've had multiple best dates, I guess you could say. And one of them would actually, I'll give you two of the best dates I've had. There was one time I went on a small road trip with this guy. I was still in the Philippines at this time. We went to the mountains and it's called Buddha in the Philippines, Davao. And it's really nice. It's so beautiful, and it's like the weather isn't hot but isn't cold either. It's like a good, you would say 60s here, 50s, 60s. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was one of my favorite places to go to because it was so serene, so calm, and the view was just amazing, and I loved it there. We just literally drove there and walked around this park that they had. It was an open park, and took pictures, and that was it. Another one of my favorite dates is I went to Navy Pier, and we went to Navy Pier and we went on the Ferris wheel, and that was my favorite thing because I've always wanted to go on a Ferris wheel with like on a date. That was one of my favorites too. And okay, that's pretty much it. But if you're asking about an ideal date, I don't have one either. Just as long as there's food, you're great company, you make me laugh, we're enjoying, amazing. That's great. That's an amazing date right there. Next question. Two of my friends actually sent me like a bunch of questions. So yeah. So the next question is, why are you attracted to complicated guys? This was on my Snapchat actually. One of my friends asked me this, is because I honestly don't know. I guess growing up, I said, okay, they asked me this because I was like, Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender made me realize how attracted I was to guys with complicated pasts, because I thought guys were able to change like that, but I had the audacity to think that. But no, guys aren't like that in real life. So I guess that's how I know I was attracted to complicated guys. Because I always had this idea that if you're there for them, you help them out, you know, maybe they can change. I always had the idea that I would be able to help someone change for the better, not for the bad, but like for the better, you know, change their views on certain aspects that make their negative views into positive views, stuff like that, you know, exactly, like character development. That's, I guess, why. The challenge is there, why not, you know, my heart been broke so many times. Sorry. Is there such a thing as healthy jealousy in a relationship, or are all forms of jealousy toxic? I think there is healthy jealousy in a relationship. You can be jealous, like if you just want your partner's attention, especially if they have not been paying attention to you for a while, and you're just jealous that they're too focused on one thing, and because you always need to give your partner some attention, not all of it, because of course you have your own things to do, but you need to give them some of it. You know, you just can't go overly crazy with the jealousy. I want to talk because I do get overly jealous at times, and that is a big flaw of mine, and I am slowly changing it. Jealousy is just it's a trust thing, not all the time. That doesn't mean that if you're jealous, you don't trust your partner. It's just that you want their attention, and you just don't overdo it. Don't go like over every small thing, I guess. Yeah. So there is a form of healthy jealousy. It's just that you have to find that healthy jealousy with your partner, and you have to talk about it, and you have to, communication and understanding. You can communicate with a partner, but if neither one of you understands it, it's just not gonna work. And I think that comes into the whole jealousy part as well, because jealousy, trust, communicate, all that, it's just, you need to mush it. Mush. If you had 0 limitations in life, what would you do and what would you achieve? Oh my god, I would travel. I would travel the world. I would invest. I've also wanted to, this is not one of my dreams. This is not something I tell people about. Not a lot of people know about this, but one of my dreams is, one of the things I want to do in life is I want to actually open up an orphanage in the Philippines and a shelter in the Philippines, because when I lived there were too many kids on the street who did not get proper education, did not get proper clothes, food, all of that. And I was one of the privileged, of course, because my parents work here, and you know, we had a house in the Philippines. That's what I want to do. I wanted to open up an orphanage for the kids, especially those who don't have parents and have left them. and also a shelter for the homeless, and where they can shower, sleep, change, whatever, bathe. But also in that shelter, like give them an opportunity to get jobs, like help them find jobs, help them just start a new life, start over. That's what I always want to do. Next question, favorite memory with someone else. There's too many memories with people I love. I cherish all of them. I wouldn't pick a favorite because, you know, your time spent on earth is short. People say it's long. No, you'll live until like 60. Actually, you don't know when you'll live until, like, you could die the next day. You don't own your life. As a Christian, I believe that we don't own our lives. I don't really have a specific favorite memory with someone else. I have multiple favorite memories with different people. Something you wish you knew sooner. Heartbreaks. If I knew that when my heart was gonna get broken, I would have just dead, killed, stopped. I would not even have pursued it. But you know, heartbreaks, they help you. They change you, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. It really just depends on how you take it and how well you receive that heartbreak and how you will let it transform you, I guess. You know, I just want to get spared the pain, but you know, it's fine. That is fine. Okay, now I'm down to my last two questions, actually. These are very long questions that my friend decided to ask me, but I really wanted to talk about them. So here's the first long question with multiple sub-questions. Is everything that we experience in our individual lives truly a part of God's unique plan for each of us? If so, how do we justify prolonged hardships in the lives of others and our own as well? If not, how do we determine when the things we experience are according to His plan, will, and simply not just life playing out? I have to reread this because I don't. Now, this question is a toughie because I'm still studying the Bible and I'm still practicing my faith, you know, getting to know His Word. And if this does not only pertain to Christians, but maybe something I say will help you in life and it'll make you understand more, something about in life. Like, this doesn't have to be for Christians. This can be for anyone, to be honest. Okay, so for the first part, is everything that we experience in our individual lives truly part of God's unique plan for each of us? No. God does have a unique plan for us, but He also gave us the freedom of will. So we get to choose what we do, what we say, all of that, all right? But He does have a set plan for us. Now, you might think, so is this hardship I'm facing part of God's plan? It may be, or it may not. You don't really know, but what you can get out of from it is the learnings. That's the one thing God wants us to know, is that you may be experiencing hardships. What are you gonna get from this hardship? Are you gonna learn something from it, or are you gonna let it break you down? And sometimes God gives us hardships because if we stray from His path, He wants us to go back to His path, the path that He has for us. Everything we do, everything we say has to glorify Him. But we are also human and we make mistakes, and God understands that. That's why He gave Jesus, His Son, for the forgiveness of our sins. But He did not give Jesus for us to abuse that forgiveness. I'm straying way too far off the question. Anyway, how do we justify prolonged hardships in the lives of others and our own as well? I'm just gonna flat out say this. Hardships are there to help you, whether it's to help you learn something or to help you go into the path God wants you to take. Okay? He doesn't put the hardships there to make your life miserable, to make you hate Him. No, He wants you to follow Him. He wants you to learn something from that hardship. Okay? That hardship may not be in His original plan. Sometimes we make decisions and mistakes that cause us to be in that hardship, and that, like I said, it may not be in His original plan, but He will do something in you, if you let Him, that'll move you to His path, His plan for you, to mold your character so that you will be living life to the fullest, to the greatest, and to His will and for His glory. How do we determine when the things we experience according to His plan or will, and simply not just life playing out? That's something that's similar to what I just said. It's just, life doesn't just play out. It's what you choose for life to play out as. Life does not lay out the way we want it to every time. We don't know if it is according to His will or His plan. What we can do is pray every time and trust in Him and study and read the Bible so we get a better understanding of what to do in those situations. What we can ask ourselves for Christians is this going to glorify Him? Is this something God wants me to do? Is this for the betterment of myself or for the betterment of my relationship with God? Is this gonna help me with my journey with God? That is something you can ask yourself to understand if it's according to His will, or I guess you could say life playing out. Next, long questions with other sub-questions. And this is probably the last question because I'm tired. Do you believe in soulmates? If so, do you believe it's possible to go through life never having met them, or do you think you're bound to meet them at some point? Do you think it's limited to romantic pairing, or in a soulmate possibly end up being only as a friend? How do we know if we found them? How do you see the soulmate concept tying in with God's plan for each of our lives? How does this comparison influence your opinion? So first question, do you believe in soulmates? I do. I really do believe in soulmates. I believe there are certain people we meet in life that we just need to meet or have met and will meet that will affect our life throughout our life. Do you believe it's possible to go through life never having met them? No, because they're called soulmates for a reason. So one way or another, you're gonna meet them. You may not think that they are your soulmates, but maybe they are. But I do not believe it's possible to go through life never having met them, because I believe if you are bound to meet, then you are bound to meet. Destiny. I'm kidding, but no, seriously. If you are bound to meet, you will meet whether you like it or not, and you won't be able to avoid it. Period. Do you think it's limited to romantic pairing, or can a soulmate possibly end up being only as a friend? I believe soulmates can be friends and lovers. I also believe that you can have more than one soulmate. Like, I do not believe in the concept of having only one soulmate. Because there's 7 billion people in the world. You will make connections with more than one person. But there are certain connections that will feel a lot stronger than others, and that you have stronger bonds to, that you connect just instantly or just so well on a more physical, emotional level. You connect spiritual level as well. You can meet a romantic soulmate and a friend soulmate. How do we know if we found them? How do you see the soulmate concept tying in? Okay, how do we know if we found them? That's really up to you. Like, no one can flat out and say, you're my soulmate, and be the correct right answer. Like, I'm pretty sure we've gone through relationships in life where people say, or we say that you're my soulmate, but it just doesn't last, and you really never know who your soulmate is. But when you do, you will feel it, and saying it will just feel right. Like, everything will feel right. Whether it's a friendship soulmate or a romantic soulmate, it'll just make sense when you say it. And you won't hesitate to say it, I guess. That's in my opinion. How do you see the soulmate concept tying in with God's plan for each of our lives? And how does this comparison change or influence your opinion? Like I said, God does have a plan for us. We don't know His plan for us, but He knows our plan for us. And the soulmate concept into that, does He purposely put our soulmate into our lives? I think yes, but it's up to us to handle that relationship, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh, it's such a tough question. My brain is exploding. How do you see it tying into God's plan? Soulmates. Like I said, we are bound to meet our soulmates. And I believe God does that for a reason, because man should never be alone. That is in the Bible. Men should never be alone. And we will find our soulmates in time. We can't force it. but we will bump into them, run into them, make friends with them, who knows? And that, I believe, is part of God's plan for us, to meet someone who connects with us in such a very intimate way, platonically or romantically. And that's it. And how does this change or influence your opinion? Like I said, I believe in soulmates, and period. Okay, that's it. Anyways, thank you for listening to this Q&A no one asked for. Hopefully I answered some of y'all questions. And yeah. Wow, I sound so dead. I'm sorry. Anyway, bye.